I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt. Once again, we're about to another review. This is another paid request, this time from Brian. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, there could be a topic, reaction, review, re-review, randomness out of the blueness, whatever, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. If not, no worries, but if so, feel free. Thank you. This was an interesting choice. And I know usually interesting, oh, this is horse shit. No, when I say interesting, I really actually do mean the word interesting. To some people use it as a bullshit thing. No, like unexpected, but it's a documentary on furries called The Fandom, which is for free on YouTube, which was nice. And I do think it was an interesting documentary. It actually was a documentary. I'm looking at you, Demon House and Room 237 and these wannabe documentaries. This is an actual documentary that's 80-some minutes long. It went at a good pace. It's well edited. It shows footage from different timelines, concise, understandable, and it got its point across. Very matter of fact. And there wasn't too many tangents that seemed like, where the hell is this going? The music fitted fairly well. It wasn't stuff out of the blue that's there to be off kilter or when we need this to... Sometimes documentaries force in music or force in certain things. You go, well, is this trying to appeal to more mainstream audience? Was appear as I'm trying to itch my nose. It's not working. There's such great information, I know. Now, before I get into the documentary, here's the thing about furries. I don't give a shit if someone's a furry. I mean, technically I'm furry, I have a beard. But anyway, this is a different furry. I don't give a fuck. I never thought it was weird. I never thought it was strange. If somehow, some form, someone who watches is a furry, or you wear a fursuit, listen, for me, with any fandom, it's 4 rules. Number 1, don't be an asshole. Number 2, I was going to put don't be a dick, but that's the same as number 1, don't be an asshole. Number 2, don't have FOSS. What does that mean? FOSS, full shit syndrome. Number 3, don't hurt anything or anybody. And number 4, to steal from Detective Jack Kane, chapter 1, page 1, don't trust anybody. But that doesn't... that's just another one in random. As long as you're following those, then who gives a shit? If you're not hurting anybody or anything, including yourself, if you're not an asshole, then who gives? I don't give a fuck if you're a furry, you wear a fursuit, if you like My Little Pony, if you're pink, if you're purple, if you're pink and purple, if you're green, if you're lean, mean machine, or if you even like Oprah fucking Winfrey. And yeah, as long as you're not an asshole, you're not hurting anybody or anything or any of that, then who gives a shit? I never understood why people gave a shit. I never understood, you know, you see videos, you see stuff of, oh, they wear a fursuit. Why do you care? Why are you so bothered by it? They want a fucking animal and they want to fuck. I'm like, there's more to it than that. That's like if someone likes football, they're a meathead and they want to fuck the football. No, that's not the case. Or Star Wars, they want to fuck Princess Leia, fuck. I'm like, no, that's not the case. Because I hate to be a bearer of bad news, every fandom has people that go too far. Football, you'll have people that will be in 5-degree weather, wearing no shirt, no pants, painted on, and they're freezing to death, but like, yeah. And then when the team wins, they decide to wreck the fucking city. Yeah, we won. That's not everybody. That's not everybody who likes football. You have people who... No. What I find weird is that if someone wears a Spider-Man outfit or Stormtrooper Star Wars outfit or an Iron Man outfit, that's fine. But if someone wears a fursuit, what's the difference? I would never wear one. Be too damn sweaty for one. But it's like, that's with a lot of things. That goes into whether someone's gay or not, or whether someone's this and that. Why do you give a shit? It's like someone acts as if that person's a fursuit, or if that person is a furry, or if that person's gay, or that person this and that, they don't enter your home, they don't steal your food, they don't eat your food, they don't fuck your dog, they don't shit in your fish tank, and they don't take your mama, you don't take your brother, and they don't take your sister. I've never heard that ever happening in my life with anything. Okay? Can common sense come save the day? Nope. Well, shit. And so I knew a little bit of what the fuck I was talking about to do a little bit of research. I go on YouTube, I type in furry fursuit, and there's people, I wrote them down. Majira Strawberry, Odin Wolf, Ash Coyote, which I think that's who uploaded this documentary. And I watched a couple of videos. I didn't understand, so I'm not talking too much out of my ass like normal. And they seem like just people that talk about stuff and that just happen to wear a fursuit. Wow, who'd have thunk it? So, I never understood the big deal. Plus, it's kind of understandable when so many people as kids, they grew up watching Mickey Mouse, Disney movies like The Lion King, Bambi, watching Bugs Bunny, Ninja Turtles, whatever, Biker Mice from Mars. So maybe it's that thing where apparently based on the documentary, this is what they said, 80% of furries are gay. That's what the documentary says. If that's not true, blame the documentary. And I'm sitting there going, huh. Is that... I'm not a psychologist. Is it because... And then someone said it best. It was their path out of their shell. Meaning, either they feel bullied, or they feel uncomfortable, or they feel that there's something wrong with them. There's not, but again, if you're not an asshole, you're not hurting anybody or anything, then it's fine. Maybe this is a way to, in some way, deal with that, or to make comfortable, like, maybe in a weird way they look in the mirror and they don't like what they see, but if they put this and they imagine themselves as someone or something else for 10 minutes or whatever, or a few hours, it's like a little bit of escape. and then ultimately gets them more relaxed, more understandable, and be like, no, there's nothing wrong here. Maybe that's one of it. I mean, the documentary didn't go too much into that, which they do a little bit, but I would like to have seen it go a little bit more in depth into that, like in depth into the. I don't want to say psychology because that means it's like a some people deem that as a negative connotation, but I do think they go a little bit into that, but I do think there's something to that that's worthy of merit, and again, not a bad thing. Again, but this is going back to the documentary itself. Like I said, 87 minutes and went at a good pace. And I'm like, lo and behold, it's a documentary where I learn shit. Unlike some of the documentaries I've seen, like Room 237, I didn't learn anything other than a bunch of crazy people think that they saw a German typewriter in The Shining, so that must mean something to do with the Holocaust. Fuck Room 237. Shitty documentary, in my opinion. But get back to this. Like, people do art to explore their identity, and they've made friends, and they're happy, and how it started, where you have like two guys, Rod and Mark, were in California, and there's a sci-fi convention, and how each one of them, they saw a movie, whether it be Robin Hood with the fox, or Bambi, and like, not, oh, I want to fuck you, but like, interesting. And then I guess in 1980 there was a convention. And I like that they have old footage, like someone has the footage back in the day, because it's a nice time warp to see how it was back then, the old video footage and how people were dressed. And I will say in that 1980 footage, there's some alien with like a horn. Looked like a really cool alien suit. I'm like, what's that? But it's like how these two guys met, and they were into Japanese animation. And actually, years before, they did this organization where people could, kind of like the first anime club, and how creating comics, funny animals, which is like animals in the funny papers, newspaper type of things, and then the paintings, and pretty much how conventions started, and how they would go to Comic-Cons, and then they're like, can you not be here? Well, we'll start our own. And it'll can't even say the fucking word right. The juxtaposition of the old footage and the startup will go into with, I guess, about 2019, a convention in Denver with this lady who was an EMT, a paramedic. And usually when you hear this nowadays, it seems like a very PC thing, but I thought they handled it fairly well here. Just the way she said it was just a matter-of-fact thing where, she was a paramedic, she was the only one in there, and some asshole told her, you're the only woman in this class, so I think you should leave. And it was just her telling a story that happened to her. It wasn't, so fuck all men are fucking assholes. No, that guy was an asshole. Fuck that guy. And it didn't. Lo and behold, someone tells a story as that going to, we hate men, like it was Amber Heard or fucking Brie Larson. Hashtag fuck Amber Heard, but anyway, different story. But, she couldn't do any more because, you're a paramedic. I guess that leads to back problems, which I never really thought about it, but I guess, paramedic, there's a lot of times you don't have to be lifting people onto the gurney. I'm like, oh, okay. This is something I never thought of, but it actually makes sense. You have this guy who's pretty interesting personality, this guy who I guess was a chemist. And you see, it's interesting because you see like him in the old footage, and you see the difference of age from how he was back then to how he is today. And like he would go to these conventions and tell stories, and they're like, hey, come back from time to time. He's like, okay, I'll come back and talk. I do like that they don't, this isn't just a puff piece where it's all fine and dandy. They do go into some of the drama as well. Number one, drama makes things a little bit interesting, whether it's a documentary or a movie. But also to not sugarcoat and be like, we're all fine and dandy. No, it does go into, like some of these early conventions, people would get drunk, cause trouble. Okay, yeah, you can't do that shit. They also do go into, like, people who make the fursuits. And how some of them, like one person, she's bipolar and is doing stuff like this, helps with that. That makes her more stable. I'm like, okay, that's a positive thing to happen. And it's not too much in your face. It's just, this is part of her life. Okay. I do like the fact that they do bring up the whole sex thing. Because that's the one thing you always... And whenever people think about furry, they always think of sex. People wearing these suits and fucking. They mentioned the CSI episode. In 2003, the TV show CSI, not CSI Miami or what, the original CSI, did an episode about people in fursuits. And apparently there were consultants, but the people who did the show just ignored it and just then made them look like freaks and it's just sex perversion and that's it. I do like that they bring that up. Because again, people be like, well, why are you hiding, huh? Why are you hiding? Why are you not saying anything? No, they do talk about it. They say, yeah, there are people who do that. They're not hurting anybody. Who gives a shit? There's a lot of people who don't do that. Just like, I mean, I guarantee fucking... Look at Triple X parodies. Didn't they do one on Guardians of the Galaxy? I've seen Brad Jones Cinema Snob review a bunch of them. Like one with fucking Pokemon. Brad Jones, shout out to the Cinema Snob. Stone Grillin' Productions' YouTube channel. He reviewed a lot of those weird porns. Like they did Beavis and Butthead back in the day. Was a beaver and butt face or something. So every fan, I mean, some of my favorite documentaries is Trekkies and Trekkies 2. Can we make it Trekkies 3? Can we have that, please? But Trekkies 1 and 2 dealt with the Star Trek slice of life. Up, down, left, center. And Trekkies 1 and 2 showcase all the different levels of fans and what they're into, and some of them happen to be like folk singers, and there's like a guy dressed as a girl who is a folk singer. There are people who write, what the fuck were they called? Slash stories? Like Kirk and Spock. Get it on. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, if floats the boat, floats the boat. But that's not a bad thing if that's fine. You're not hurting anybody, you're not being an asshole. And that's not everybody. My point is, that goes with every fucking fandom. No pun intended with the fucking. So, you know, they talk about how, I thought that the chemist guy made a good point. I think he was a chemist. He said, when a journalist or anybody gets this furry thing, like the story's in your hands, you gotta write something. What's going to sell more? Over here you write about, well, this person is making this beautiful art. Some of it's given to charity and stuff. Well, this person wrote a story, and it's a story about, you know, going through their withdrawals or going through their relationships, like serious relationships, or talking about just an adventure, fighting. They're a pilot in space and doing an adventure. Like I enjoyed the Ninja Turtles. You know, that. And they're writing the story, or they're, you know, drawing it. You know, wait, they're fucking? You know, that's... When the beacon is so focused on that, then it makes it seem like that's the only thing. the Thames guy said it a bit more to the point, but it was interesting to hear some people, like, there were some people who were animators with Disney and pretty much told them, you're leaving this fandom or you're fired. And after the CSI episode and all this stuff, some people lost jobs because they found out you're a furry, you're fired. I would have liked a bit more into that. Like, a bit more into people, their experience of being fired, of being found out and being fired with it, and you're dealing with that. I just think that, I mean, like I said, they bring up a little bit with an animator. Pretty much well, they didn't use the term threaten, but, said, yeah, get away from that or else. One thing I thought was a bit fucked up was the two guys I talked about before who kind of started this whole thing and created like the first convention of that sort. They stepped down because they were getting older. They gave it to a new guy to continue, and the new guy immediately closed it down, trademarked the name. No one else can use it than me. I don't know what the fuck he's using it for, since there's no more of that specific name. It was, instead of conference, it's conference. I mean, it was the first one, okay. Forgive the pun. Confer, F-U-R, conference, whatever. I'm like, wow, that's a bit fucked up. Why did this guy do that? And why did he trademark the name? What's he going to do with it? Sit on it and do nothing? Stick a thumb up his ass and smile? I don't know. I thought that was really shitty to do to the two guys who's like, well, we don't trust you with this. And the guy's like, I know. Now you two don't fuck yourself. But whatever. Also, something I never heard before, something called burned furs. Well, actually, most of this I've never heard before, but I'm like, what the hell's a burned fur? Did they burn their fursuits or burn them with them on? I don't know. No, they felt burned by what the media was saying. In other words, it was a group of furries going, we're tired of these assholes with the sex. And they sex it up. We're going to get rid of all that. We're going to clean it up. And then some of them, not all, but some of them went a bit further and said, also, all you gay people, get out. I'm like, wow, even within this fandom, there's a section who's tired of the sex. Just like, I got in this fandom, but you guys made it all a joke. Because the sex thing, you guys didn't take it seriously, and look what you're doing, this perversion stuff. You guys are assholes. Now people think we all into this because it's your fault. And then they take it even further, where some of them go, you know what? And then you guys, you go out there and you touch each other, like you pat each other and you cuddle each other. No more of that too. Oh, you're gay, get out of here. I'm like, wow, this is, again, something that's why I said interesting. And then also, I guess there's a section that's like a neo-Nazi alt-right thing. I'm like, okay. Although, to be honest, you can find it with every fandom. Again, because where people were fursuit, they just give more of a spotlight. But I said they go into each one, and it doesn't get too long. It doesn't get too repetitive. I said it's fairly well edited. I was a bit surprised, and people seemed comfortable. Like, no one did an interview in a fursuit. Everyone, their face showing, so I guess they're comfortable with who they are. People knowing who they are. It was nice. I would say it was a bit surprising, because I guess I was expecting that some interviews would be people that maybe they didn't want to show their face and they kept hidden in a fursuit, so they'd be interviewed with a fursuit on. Maybe like a microphone somewhere. I'm a bit surprised they didn't have anyone with that. Not saying if they should or shouldn't. I'm just saying that was a bit surprising. But again, I do find it, like I said, a bit ironic that, hey, Black Cat is sexy, okay. You know, Superman with the muscles, okay. You know, what was that jungle lady, Sheena? That's okay. But oh no, this is like, well, part of me is like, well, what's the fucking difference? So overall, like I said, this was an interesting watch. You know, not bad at all. And, well, you know, I'll say it before I'll say it again. If you're into it, if you're not hurting anybody or anything, and you're not being a dick, being an asshole, then why should anyone give a shit? Like, sincerely, I asked that question. Why should anyone give a shit if no one's hurt anybody or anything, or, like I said, not being a complete fucking douchebag? And if you're not, then be it. Wear the fursuit. Do YouTube videos with the fursuit. Whatever you do. Go for it. And if people don't like it, tell them to go fuck themselves. I mean, I like the Ninja Turtles. I've talked about that before. Trying to think, you know, I don't mind Bugs Bunny and that stuff. Trying to think, what was that one show? Fuck, I forgot what it was. Not Biker Mice from Mars, but the Sewer Sharks. Sewer Sharks. Wow, I'm glad I spent 5 minutes thinking of that. I remember watching those cartoons back in the day and enjoying them. I guess my point in all that is if many people enjoy Bugs Bunny, and many people enjoy Mickey Mouse, many people enjoy Ninja Turtles, what's the big difference between enjoying them and what these guys and gals enjoy? Because if we like seeing anthropomorphic characters who are animals talking and fighting and thinking, or comedy, humor, or action, whatever, they're doing the same thing, only they're creating their own original stuff. What's the difference? I don't know, maybe I'm just naive. I don't know. I'm just here drinking a fucking Mountain Dew Cold Red, trying to find a way to end this review. So I'll just end it now. Anyway, thanks for the request, Brian. Thank you for watching, anybody who watches this, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.